Hello everyone, this is Mac here and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel which is called Mac Vlogs, which you all know about it. So if you haven't subscribed the channel, go please subscribe the channel and just be part of this great video tonight, this afternoon and morning in Oman with my awesome guest Hyesha Barrett. She is an amazing personality. I always love bringing her on Mac Vlogs to have different topics and add value because we thought that it's a new year time. Happy New Year, everyone out there in
Happy New
Oman, in
Year.
Pakistan, and everywhere. So, the topic
Yeah.
which we chose for this morning and afternoon would be New Year, new habits. Okay, let's see how the new year brings the vibrant personalities out with the new habits. We're going to learn about what new habits are we going to be learning from Hyesha Barrett for 2024. If we have left behind in 2023 our old and bad habits, let's learn about something good and positive habits for 2024 to make our lives more positive. Hello,
Yeah, that would
Hyesha.
be
How
great
are
though,
you?
Mac. I'm good. Thank you so
How are
much for
you?
having me on the show again. I'm so excited to be here as
Mac Vlogs
always.
is more of your channel now than mine, it seems. So
No, we're
own
in
it.
this
You know,
together.
own it as your own.
It's our collaboration, and I'm so pleased and humbled and honored to always be asked to come on this your wonderful channel. And I'm so excited to be here with your audience, with your listeners, and to just grow together. It's all about growth, Mac, and 2024 is about growth. It's about not
Yes,
necessarily letting go of
agreed.
the old, because we have to always bring in who we were. We can't dismiss who we were, but it's also understanding who we were in order to grow into a better person in the new year.
Yeah, forget about the negativity, about toxic mindsets and all the,
Yes.
you know, the things which are being, we have left it behind on 31st December 2023 was the last day, so it's all gone. Now it's going to be new. It's on early days of January. I guess it's 8th January today, so it's still early days and it's still New Year,
Yes.
and everybody are still enjoying the moments of
Yes.
positivity.
Positivity all the way, Mac. That's what we have to have
Yep.
in life. We need to constantly remain positive, because we can always just focus on the negative. That is our natural way of being, actually. The brain will naturally go to bad habits. It will naturally go into that bad habit loop, which is what we have in general, which is the cues, the triggers, the behaviors, and then the rewards. But if we focus on the positive, if we tell ourselves, you know what? It's okay to have gone through what we've gone through, because we all go through traumas and pains and heartaches and all of those challenges. Yeah, put them on the side, put them behind us, and also let's learn from them. The main thing is also to learn from them. If we just dismiss them but don't learn from our mistakes, how are we going to grow from them? We'll continuously and consistently do the same bad habits if we don't realize that they were bad habits. So let's talk about a few things, like the common factors of why it's difficult to change bad habits, right? It is because, first of all, there's a
Hmm.
lack of motivation.
That's the topic. That's the topic. New habits, right? So, what is a habit? Like everyone has, and we need to understand what habits are we having inside us, which we're not working on or which we need to work on. So, please go
Yeah.
ahead and explain us so nicely that how our habits can really play the role in our lives. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So bad habits are formed from pretty much, I mean, let's not try and call them bad habits, let's call them habits, because even, habits in general can be good, but then also have a sense of boding as well. So let's just talk about habits. What makes us not being able to change a habit? First of all, it's
Hmm.
the lack of motivation. It's the fact that the motivation is unclear or not strong enough. It can be
Hmm.
challenging to sustain the efforts to change a habit if there is the lack of motivation. So we have to realize that, first of all. And
Hmm.
then the second thing is the unrealistic expectations that we have. We're overly ambitious. We create goals, and which is why a lot of New Year resolutions don't work, because we brought in the bad habits in the new year, and we think, okay, it's a new year, let me quit smoking tomorrow, let me go off sugar, let me find the perfect man, let me, you know what I mean, and the best job. And that's so great to have those goals. I love it. The problem is we are too ambitious. We think, okay, because I've been a smoker of the past, I don't know how many years, how can we expect to quit overnight? It's not that easy. Yes, willpower is in play. Yes, also realizing that potentially that they're so bad for you that we should change them, sure. But it's not that easy. And we'll come to tools and tactics of what we can do afterwards. And now I just want to go into what are the common habits, the common factors, why we can't change them. So they're overly, yeah, exactly. So they're overly ambitious. We set unrealistic goals, and obviously this can lead to frustration, and this can lead to a sense of failure, right? So it's important to establish the fact that we need to have small, achievable milestones to build the momentum gradually. And that we've heard of SMART goals, right? Small, S for small, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for time bound. As long as we set ourselves a goal, so say for example, let's ask you, Mac, what's your new goal for the year? What's a habit that you'd like to change, that you feel like, oh, let me get rid of this bad habit and let me implement a new habit? What would you like?
Well, I believe that whatever the bad things that happen in people's life, or especially in my life, I would believe that I need to work on something which can make me better than yesterday, right? So my habits, which were yesterday a bit more negative, or s- in a way that I was not approaching the way it had to be. So just
Yeah,
forget about that and thinking on a better person than what I was on maybe Monday evening, right? So just want to correct those habits
right,
so
right.
people who are around me, they understand that I'm changing with the time. Okay?
Yes, I love it.
So the
Very
fact
good, very
is
good.
that I need to understand one more thing from you, especially, would be, can the habits be adapted from the environment, the people, or the mindset? How does the habits get being adapted?
Yeah, and also environmental factors that play a big part. Social factors, environmental factors, physical factors, so many factors
Because we
play.
tend to follow them, right? We tend to follow what people are doing in environment.
Always. We tend
Yeah.
to, because we are creatures of habit and we're social creatures. We like to follow what other people do. We like to be part of a tribe. We like to feel that we belong. So even though a habit might not be good, in our sense good, we will still follow it because we think that that's what the tribe is doing. So in order for me to fit in, I will do the same habit. It might not be good for us long term. But the thing is, short term, we think, okay, I'm going to do that now because it's giving me, some pleasure. It's giving me a reward right now. I feel like I have a sense of belonging with the tribe. But maybe long run, it's very detrimental to us. So it is realizing that. It's realizing those factors as well. And one also the thing about the reasons why it's difficult for us to change is because we get in this habitual loop of thinking, the same thinking patterns. Our bad habits serve as a coping mechanism for underlying emotional issues or stress. So say, for example,
But does the habit but does the habit have any role in the age group? Like in any age,
it can do,
people
it
tend
can,
to think that
yeah.
my age, I need to change the habit, or it's just a continuous uh, way of doing it.
That's the thing. The older we get, it's more difficult because we're set in our ways. It's a bit like that older age that we say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But we can,
Hmm.
as long as we're aware of it. The key to everything in life, and I say this all the time, the key to transformation is awareness. Awareness precedes transformation, as does clarity
I'm sure you
precedes.
might be knowing the techniques of adapting the habits, which people have some wrong habits to get over them. So, what are the
Yeah,
correct techniques to work on
yeah.
the habits?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of techniques that we can do. Obviously, we need to set the realistic goals. That is so key. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. That's Also, this big thing that I would urge all of our listeners to have written down on their worksheets, on their whiteboards in front of them. If we plan to fail, we fail to plan. Sorry, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. It's very much like that. Time flies by. Didn't 2023 just fly by, Mac? It just flew by, you know. And for me, I have to realize that. I tell my clients all the time, one of the reasons why we fail to change our habits, we fail to realize our goals, is because we haven't scheduled it in.
Mm-hmm.
So set those realistic goals, set those plans that you want to put in place. You want to lose weight? Great. Set a realistic plan of 6 months. You can't lose 10 kilos in 2 months. You can't. It's not possible, you know, unless you go on a crash diet, which we all try and do. And then what happens? We eat some more sugar again, and then we balloon back up. So make sure you set those small, achievable plans. Start small with manageable changes. Then have the clear, yeah, exactly, right? You have to have it, Matt. You have to, you know, it's difficult to do. Look at me. I have my new diary here. It's my 2024 diary. I have
I have a very bad habit that I cannot sit in one place.
You have a bad habit. You
I
can't sit
have
in
a
one
bad
place.
habit that I can't sit in one place and do nothing. I just feel like, moving around, and this is the habit I
Do
need to
you
work on,
meditate?
because when I'm on screen, I think I need to move less around, I guess.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, you know, there's time for movement and there's time for peace. There's time for quiet and there's time for everything. Like it's time that there's times to move fast and do a HIIT exercise, as there is time to just sit down and meditate, as there is time to have your conscious eating and mindful eating. You know, as long as you set your mind to go, this is what I want to change in my habits. This is what I realize is bad and detrimental to my health in general. What can I do to change it? So write them down. What are your triggers? What are your rewards? What are the things that are motivating you? What are not motivating you? It's all about self-awareness, Mac. It really, really, really is. When we have more self-awareness, we have more self-reflection, then we can understand ourselves better. We're not, otherwise, we're just going to go in that pattern, the same loop over and over and over again, which we all do. You know, I have so many clients who come to me who have been working with me for a year, and they're like, oh, you know what, Hyesha? And unfortunately, a lot of them haven't implemented a few of the goals that they should be implementing. And so 1 year later, they still come to me with the same problem. I'm like, okay, we'll continuously work on those goals. But you, as a coach myself, Mac, I can only help in the sense that I can coach them, I can facilitate them, I can mentor them, I can do that for them. But if the person is not willing to change, if the person is not willing to implement that change in their habit, they won't do it. So understanding yourself as well is key. You know, so set the clear goals, develop a plan as well. The plan is extremely important, you know, to incorporate it into your daily life. A main thing as well is realize that you have to make gradual changes. Say, for example, with you, Matt, you can't sit still, you're always moving. You're aware of that. Okay, so when you, and I'm also a very, very talkative person with my hands. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. I don't think it's a bad thing, to be honest, you know, but I am concentrating this year on really implementing my meditative practice. So I meditate twice a day now, and I love it. It allows me to be in a bit more calmer space. It allows me to connect more to my body. It allows me to come up with different answers inside of me. So I get that. So one key thing as well to changing habit is understand your why. Why are you changing this habit? What's the purpose behind it? You know, is it because you want to improve your health? Is it because you want to have a longer life? Is it because you want to increase your productivity? Is it because you want to have a stronger relationship with yourself, with others? What is it? What is that key motivation in your life? Regardless of what, you know, environmental factors, family factors, put those aside. 2024 is about you. Choose you. And I tell my clients this all the time as well. They want to appease and be happy for other people. We always think about what other people are thinking. And that's nice to a certain extent. But then are you really thinking about yourself? Are you really thinking about who you are and what you really want? So that's a very good habit to have as well. The more you focus on what you want, the less you'll be distracted by others, and the more you'll know your why, your purpose. That's very, very important. Another thing as well is, if you want to replace a habit, don't just eliminate it. Don't just eliminate a habit, replace your habit. Because it's difficult for the brain to go, right? Because it's difficult for the brain, which has it's the brain has focused on something for so long because it's that habitual loop. In order to change the
What
neuroplasticity, go ahead.
Yeah, what role does the behavior have to do with the habits? Because I feel that habits versus behavior play a very big role in people's life,
Yes.
because whatever the habits you have in your life, it has to
Mm.
do related to the behavior, because whatever the
Yes,
behavior you're going to portray, that's the habit you're going to adapt. Is it true or is it
absolutely.
something different?
It is true. But then if we start looking less at the behavior and start looking at the behavior, who's creating the behavior? The behavior. I'm the behavior and I'm creating behavior, right? When we,
Hmm.
again, it's back again to self awareness. When we realize that I'm behaving a certain way because of the patterns that have been instilled in me for such a long time, what can I do to create that interrupt, that break, that pattern interrupt? Which is all about changing habits. It's not doing the same thing over and over and over again. So realizing that yes, behaviors are very much part and parcel of your habits, 100%. The thing is, in this habit loop, you get stressed, for example. Okay, one of us gets stressed. We all get stressed. Then we either go to, like, we have a cigarette to calm down. We scroll social media. We eat some junk food. We that's the bad habit. And then what happens? We get the reward. The reward of eating the junk food. We feel good because we've got all of that, the trans fats that are like not now digesting in us. Until afterwards we feel bad, but at the moment we feel rewarded. The same thing for when you get stressed. A smoker will have a cigarette. They feel good because it releases the endorphins. It releases the serotonin, and then you feel rewarded. Like, this is a good habit of mine, even though logically it's not good to smoke. But because you are in this consistent habit loop, it's difficult to change it. So how do we change it? Realization, awareness, reflection, and then the small changes. Okay, say you're smoking 10 cigarettes a day. Reduce it to 9 for the first week. Next week, reduce it to 8. Next week, reduce it to 7. And then start replacing that habit of smoking with, say, for example, a patch, or with chewing gum, or with going for a walk, or an extra glass of water. So replacing what you are, effectively using as a bad habit, or having as a bad habit, replace it with a good habit. That is the key.
Hmm.
The key to change and consistent, gradual change is to do that, Mac. It really, really is.
But
So
everyone
then you
is
have,
afraid to change, right? Everyone don't want to change
sorry, you just
because
broke up there a little
change
bit.
is difficult. Yeah, I said
Change is
everyone
so
don't want to
difficult.
change. It's difficult to change in your life.
It's so
Even taking a
difficult.
step forward, it's too much of thinking to do that. What changes we need to bring in our lives?
I know. Well, because you know what, as well, it's the bad habits. They serve as a coping mechanism. They serve as a mechanism for the underlying emotional issues that we've had, right? So addressing the root
Hmm.
causes of why these habits have formed is crucial for successful habit change. If we don't work on ourselves, and if we just try to quit cold turkey, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You will automatically come back to it. But if you understand why
Sure.
these bad habits are formed, it's a coping mechanism. What's the root cause of it? What's the negative thought pattern and the self-limiting beliefs? Our first podcast was about self-limiting beliefs, and it still
Hmm.
is about that, Mac. We all have self-limiting beliefs that hinder our progress. So developing a positive mindset, challenging our limiting beliefs, it's essential for overcoming our mental barriers, because habits often have specific triggers. It's about identifying and addressing these triggers. That's crucial to understanding and altering the behavior associated to the habit. Because as I mentioned, you've got the habit loop, you've got the cue, you've got the trigger, then you've got the behavior, and then you've got the reward. These habits continuously follow a loop: a cue, reward, cue, routine, reward, cue, routine, reward. So identifying and altering each component of this loop is necessary. for successful habit change. And let me ask you this, Mac. Do you know how long it takes for a habit to become automatic? How long do you think
No,
it takes?
no idea. Nope.
It takes 66 days. It takes
Mm.
66 days so around 10 weeks of continuously doing the same
So
thing
almost two
every
months, around two and a
yeah,
half months.
2.5 months. Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's Mac, it's the small daily insignificant changes, insignificant daily steps that we need to implement that will lead to long-term mastery. After 66 days of doing this, you change the neuroplasticity in your brain, and it becomes this thing called automaticity. So then it goes from you developing this new habit, where when you actually stop doing that habit after 66 days, your brain is like, oh, what happened to it? I missed it. So, say, for example, with me with meditation, I've done it more than 66 days now. The first couple of months, the first, I would say, month and a half was a little bit difficult for me to get down. And I'm like you, I'm always busy. You know me, I'm busy. I'm always doing things, always doing things. So, but I know that meditation is good for me. I know the benefits of it. So I forced myself to do it, to get myself to the chair, to just sit down. Now, after 66 days, if I don't meditate, I miss it. I'm like, something's wrong. I need to meditate. So it really is about doing something over and over and over again, even if we don't want to do it. You have to persist. You have to persist. That's how we change that loop in our brain, for our brain to go from a bad habit to a good habit. It's extremely
Mhm.
important, Mac. It's not easy. It's not easy, but
No.
nothing good is easy, right? But nothing good comes out of comfort zones either. Get out of your comfort zone, try something new, implement new habits. It's so key in order for us to change. But we are resistant to change because of our neural pathways, right? Whether good or
Mhm.
bad, our brains create neural pathways. And over time,
It's
these
developed in
pathways,
such a way that it adapts differently.
it adapts differently. So after 66 days, it will become a new habit because these
Mhm.
pathways, they're so well established, and they're associated with certain cues. The cues, the routines, and the rewards, right? That habit loop. So breaking that habit requires rewiring your neural connections. That takes time, intentional effort, and repetition. It
Yeah,
does. As sucky as it
absolutely.
sounds, it's really that simple. As simple as it sounds, it's difficult to do. It's very simple, but difficult to do. And we have to be aware of that because the brain tends to resist change due to the comfort of routine. We love routine. We love, and good or bad, right? We love a routine. And so the negative thought patterns, the self doubts, the lack in one's belief in one's ability to change can create these mental barriers. But if we believe that we can, or if we believe that we can't, you're right. Henry Ford said that.
Yeah, yeah.
If you believe you
As a
can,
life
if you believe you can't, you're right.
as a life coach, what
Yeah.
challenges have you ever faced in changing the mindset of people to adapt the new habits?
It's difficult, Mac. But the key thing that I say to everyone, and I have a lot of people who come to me as well to say, oh, Haisha, I would love it if you coached my husband. I would love it if you coached my son. I would love it. The first question I ask is, that's great, but are they willing to be coached? And they say no, and say, I'm sorry, then I can't coach them. It's the same thing for a habit. When my clients come to me saying, Haisha, I want to quit smoking. Well, I have a bad habit of smoking. I was like, okay, do you want to quit smoking? And they say, no, I like it. And I was like, okay, then I'm sorry, you're not in the right mind frame to change. You
Mhm.
have to want to change first, not because of environmental factors, not because of people telling you should do it, not because it's a thing to do, but do you want to? That again, coming back to your why. Do you want to change? Is that within your system that you believe that it's good to change? That is the first step. Once you believe that, anything can happen, Mac. Anything. The belief in ourselves is so, so crucial to change. to habit change, to believing in ourselves, to wanting and desiring different things, to motivation. These are big things, they are. But if we don't believe in ourselves, we can very easily fall off the bandwagon. We can very easily resort back to old habits. We can very easily just scroll social media for hours, eating the junk food, going to sleep, and just
These are
not
all
being
part of habits, right? These are all part of habits which needs to be
all of
changed
it,
according to the time.
all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. And one good thing you should have as well is a partner. Having a lot of reasons why we actually stop. What's it called? Stop going into a good habit is because we don't have the support system around us. We don't have the accountability around us. When we, for example, go into the gym, if we just go alone, or if we try, even if we have a gym at home, I don't like having a gym at home. I have one gym upstairs, but I don't use it. I like to go to the gym because then I have my partners around me. I do Muay Thai. We're
You
there.
get the
We're punching.
motivation by talking
The
to them.
motivation,
It's a different set of things, right?
different. Absolutely. So if you know that you can't change your bad habit and you need people around you to change it, great. That's the awareness right there. Then take action, take conscious action to go, yes, I know that I need to be around people in order to get healthier, in order for me to actually move my body. Cool. Find that group of people that works for you, whether it's yoga, whether it's running, whether it's hiking, whether it's Muay Thai, whether it's whatever it is that works for you. But find the thing that works for you. Because you can't do, as I said, about the mother wanting me to coach the son. If the son's not ready, it won't happen. So if you're not ready, it won't happen. So you need to find that. Really need to find that. And it's so key. It's so key to like realizing the things that will change your environment, change your support system, and using positive reinforcement as well. When you achieve your milestones, celebrate that success, celebrate it, and also a lot of times as well, Mac, we need to realize that during the time of transition, that's always the hardest time. Always. Those 66 days are going to be messy because you're changing your neural pathways, you're doing something different. So be kind to yourself. If you take those 66 days and in that time, if you need to have a rest, cool. If you need to have an extra bowl of ice cream, fine. If you need to go and call a friend, fine. If you need to take an extra nap, fine. But be aware that during those 66 days, the transition period is always the hardest. And then again, it's awareness. I'm always talking about awareness. Without the awareness, we can't change. So yeah, it's all part and parcel around that, Mac. I can't even see the time. Are we over time now, or are we in 27
No, no,
minutes?
yeah, not a
Okay.
problem. Uh, I was just seeing it that you mentioned, or maybe you wrote an article on new habits. What was your
Yes.
experience about that, and how do you perceive, like when you write articles on certain topics, right? Does that really make a change in the society? And how many people
I
read your articles, which makes an impact on their lives?
I would love to think so many, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, Mac. Unlike with live streaming or with YouTube, you can see how many people watch this. Even on live on Instagram, you can see how many. Well, then again, we don't know how many people watch it afterwards, right? The replay is always there. So I don't
I see.
know. And with a newspaper, I don't know how many people buy the newspaper. But I would
Okay.
love to believe that even if I change one person's perspective, I've made a difference. And that's all I need. That's all I need. Because,
Yeah, I
I
think the
would
message
love,
should be loud and clear that whoever connects with Heisha should reply with their feedbacks to understand what changes they brought in their lives through your platforms and through
I
your
would love
mindset.
that.
Yeah,
I would
basically
love
because that will make you understand that what change or the role you're playing in their lives. So I think need to have something in that manner, that to hear from those people that because of Heisha we change this habit of ours or this quality which was lacking in us, and we had a problem, we had an issue. So Heisha
that.
played a big role in our lives, because that will help you to understand that what role you're playing in their lives, right? Don't you think that should be a great way?
That would be a great way, Mac. I would love that. I really would. I would
Like as you
really love
see in the restaurants and the brands and the shopping malls where they give you a feedback cards, right,
that.
to
Yes.
ask us that
Yes. Yes.
what how are we doing it. Okay, so in
Yes.
similar way, if you can ask your audience that please give me the feedback to understand what am I doing, what my role is in your life, so that can
Yeah.
help me grow as well with you, you know.
Yes, yes, yes. And we're always in the state of growth. So I would love that. Any feedback is welcome, even criticism, anything is wonderful. I really would love to, I love hearing from our listeners. And that's one thing that I love having doing it on Instagram lives actually, because people can chime in, people can write comments. I don't know if they can here. I'm not sure if they can. But and I'm not even seeing how many people are watching right now
Yeah,
even.
around
So
10 people are watching so far.
great, great. Hi
Yeah,
guys. Any comments, anything that you'd like to mention, please do. I really love interacting with everyone. I really do love,
definitely. Everyone, those
questions.
who are watching Heysha live now, as you can see that I always mention her details in the description section. You can directly
Yeah.
contact her on her email. She's in Oman, and her social media as well if you would like to connect with her for your daily questions or direct questions so that you can get quick answers, quick replies. She will be on the go. So all her details are in the description section. Please go connect with her for all your problems, your mindset, your behavior issues, your habits, which you want to make it a little bit different, what you're doing wrong in your life. Heysha is the right person to guide you and take you further in your life with positivity. I
Yay.
think that
Thank
message
you.
was loud and clear.
Thank you so much, Mac. You honestly are such a blessing. And to provide a platform to help, even as I said, one person, it's so critical for me because then
I think
it becomes that.
I wouldn't endorse any other people around the world as long as I know I am your biggest fan. So that's why. So you have that fan out
Bless
here
you.
to always keep on promoting, connecting, and
Bless
taking your guidance and taking you around the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I feel so honored and humbled and blessed. Thank you and grateful.
God bless
Thank you.
you, and may the 2024 keep that smile with shining as a superstar which you are for me and for all the people around the world. May your
Thank
kids be keep blessed with your husband, your family, everyone
thank
around
you.
you is a
Thank
positive
you.
energy which it gives you too
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Bless you too as well.
So
Thank
everyone,
you.
if you haven't subscribed Mac Vlogs, please do go and subscribe once again. This message is loud and clear so that you can keep on connecting with amazing personalities like Heysha Barrett. And I'm sure that Heysha will be coming again with. I think she might be talking to different people in Oman to come along and be part of Mac Vlog so that we can connect them as well for changing a lot of people's mindsets and adding value in
Yeah.
any form I can to play my role. That would be an amazing, and it will be a blessing from my side to every one of you all with your family. So
Thank you
Heysha,
so
don't
much,
go
Mike.
away. Even if I just press end, we need to talk further, and then we'll take
Sure.
it further. So
All
everyone,
right.
have a happy and blessed new
Bye.
year, and
Happy New
change your
Year.
habits if you have any wrong habits. Okay, take
Yeah.
care. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.